You know, if you're in the newspaper, you're next to a whole bunch of your competitors. If you're in Monster, you're next to a whole bunch of your competitors. If you're at a job fair, you can wave at your competitors. They're 8 to 10 feet away from you. You know, everywhere you go, you see people that are looking for the same people as you are. In radio, you're guaranteed to be separated from everybody else. If you are a staffing agency, you'll be in that commercial break by yourself every single time. If you're looking for production people, you'll be there by yourself. If you're looking for students, you'll be there by yourself. If you're looking for financial advisors, you'll be there by yourself. It will always be a one-ad response. This is the thing that I love. You know, one of the terms that is bandied about all across the country right now is social networking. And we talk about Facebook, and I like Facebook. I do it all the time, and you know, LinkedIn and all this kind of good stuff. And I think that's all very, very cool. The greatest social networking tool in America is still radio, by far radio. And let me give you an example of what I mean by social networking and radio, how that works together. One of the more difficult positions to fill over the course of the last year or so, or 5 years, is CDL, Class A CDL truck drivers. And there's just been a very big shortage of drivers across America. And so I'm in Oklahoma City, and I'm dealing with a company called Hope Lumber. And Hope Lumber has had 3 open Class A positions, delivery driver positions, for 6 months. And the owner of the company is absolutely frustrated. And so I asked him, I said, what have you been doing to recruit your drivers? And he said, we've been placing ads in the newspaper, and we're getting a tremendous applicant flow, but we can't hire the people we're getting. They're falling short in one of 2 categories. And I said, well, how are these people falling short? And he said, well, they either cannot pass a driving test or they can't pass a drug test. Other than that, these would be ideal candidates for my company. And he said, we're kind of sticklers on these 2 points. And I said, probably a pretty good idea to be, you know, hey dude, your lumber's in the back, go grab. Right, you know, that's not the person you want to have delivering your lumber to your organization at that point. He said, man, if you can help us out, it's going to be huge. And so he said, please explain this program. So we explained the whole program to him, and he goes, I get it. He goes, that makes total sense. I love it. Yeah, let's get started. He said, tell me what radio stations you have in town. Well, here in Lake Charles, we have a bunch of radio stations that we can present to you. In Oklahoma City, I only had 1 radio station I was working with at the time. And I did not, to find Class A CDL truck drivers, I did not have a country station, or a sports, or news, or a talk, or a rock station. The only station that I had in Oklahoma City was a soft rock radio station that I was working with. Basically, Barry Manilow finishes up a tune, and on comes truck driving commercial. And the guy looked at me then and goes, no interest. I don't want to work with you. And I said, you've wasted 6 months of your time and financial prowess looking for these people and had no success. I said, give me 30 days. I said, that's all I want. Give me 1/6 of the time that you've given to the newspaper. And he goes, well, I really have not much to lose. Yeah, I'll give you that same amount of money. I'll give it to you for 1 month. We brought in one of the drivers from Hope Lumber to come in and cut the commercial, Mark Hines. Mark Hines was not chosen because he had a great radio voice, or you know, he's done some acting or anything like that. The only reason Mark Hines was chosen, Mark Hines said, yeah, I'll do it. That was his qualifications to be the spokesperson for the company. So we brought Mark in there, we turned the microphone on, and we talked to him for about 5 minutes. Why he came there, how long he's been at the company, all this kind of good stuff. And out of 5 minutes, we pulled out about 15 seconds of really good stuff. And we put it all together. Digital editing, it takes about 1 minute to do that. We put it together, and then the announcer carried it the rest of the way. And it came off like this. Hey, my name is Mark Hines. I've been a driver for Hope Lumber for the past 3 years. I love working for this company. Family run, locally owned and operated. They treat you like part of the family. They give me all the overtime I can ever want, so money is never a concern. And the thing I like best, all deliveries are local. I am home every night and every weekend with my wife, my kids, and my friends. If you're an over-the-road trucker spending too much time away from the ones you love, bring your career home to Hope Lumber. This Class A CDL truck driving commercial runs on a Barry Manilow station, and in the first 30 days, they have 28 qualified, sober truck drivers who are knocking at their door, coming down to HR going, my wife told me I wanted to work here. Boom. Huge success. That is social networking, right? I don't have to reach that driver. I have to reach somebody that driver knows. And you know who knows that driver? It's the wives. The wives going, I'm tired of him being away from the kids, and I'm tired of packing lunches and cutting the grass and shoveling snow. Jimmy, you're getting your butt home. And all of a sudden those truck drivers, not only do they fill their 3 open slots, they have a backlog of 25 other qualified drivers that want to work at their company. Isn't it nice to have a backlog of 25 other drivers that want to work there, instead of going, oh, jeez, he quit? What am I going to do now? Now start to scramble, and now you're running around like this, right? You're going, what am I going to do? It is way better to be proactive with recruiting than it is reactive. That's what the radio allows you to do. So next up, radio allows you to work like a headhunter, going behind competitor stores, allied field stores, and say, hey, we know you're working right now. We know you're doing a good job. That's why we want to talk to you, not because you just got fired again. Dramatically lowers the number of non-qualified applicants that you attract and interview. I was in New York City 10 years ago, right before Christmas hiring period, for a company called Macy's. Macy's is looking to hire a bunch of people for their seasonal hiring period. And they said, we're having a real difficult time right now. Can you come down and talk to us? So I head down to Manhattan. I attempt to get into the office, the lobby of HR at Macy's. I can't get in. The room is absolutely shoulder to shoulder people filling out applications like it is a sardine can in there. So I waited a few minutes until some people filtered out, and I literally just weaved my way all the way back, and I finally got back to the lady, the director of HR. And I had 3 questions for her, 3. Number 1, what'd you do to get all those people out there? And she said, we just ran it out of the newspaper. I said, number 2, did it work? Now she looks at me like, well, yeah, it worked. You know, that the room is jam-packed. You know, this guy's kind of slow. You know, how could he even miss that? So I asked her a 3rd question. Are you getting a lot of applicants, or do you get a lot of qualified people? And then she looked up and she smiled. And she said the favorite thing I've ever heard from an HR director in my life. She said, oh, you saw them. And I said, I gotta be honest with you, I did see them. And she said, there's got to be a line in my newspaper that reads, if you've just been released on parole or escaped, please stop by Macy's today. She said, I am literally afraid to interview at least half the people I see right now. She said, I get into HR and be frightened by my applicant flow, and yet that's what I'm coming down to right now. I'm actually frightened by the people that say they want to work here.